hold off at making this video, but I have the time to do it right now, so why not just do it now? Um, yeah, so I have the time to do it right now. So let's talk about it. Um, I am officially a teacher for the state of Texas, and I wanted to inform y'all on how to become a teacher in the year 2026. Um, Especially if you are one of those people who are like trying to figure out like where's your next step in regards of a career, or you just graduated either high school or college, and you're trying to figure out what is the best path for you, and you feel that teaching will bring you that satisfaction. um so first we can start off with, I guess, a little bit of my story. So I graduated college at UT Austin actually in 2021. And I had worked in a different industry before then that wasn't really kind of going anywhere. Not saying that industry in particular wasn't going anywhere. It was just more of like within that industry, I couldn't see myself moving up or like climbing up the ladder or whatnot. But basically, I was more so concerned about like living and financial stability when it came to that job. Even though it was more of my passion, it definitely wasn't a way to make the most money. Which is okay. Sometimes when it comes to like your passions, you won't make the most money. Or you might. It just depends. But when it comes to becoming a teacher, alternatively, like the alternative route, there are different steps that you have to acquire versus just going to college to be in teaching. So I graduated UT Austin 2021. I was in a career field for about a year, wasn't doing much for me, and then I switched over. It was a lot to get into teaching because there was a lot of like back end things that I had to do. Hi, Oscar. How are you? Where are you tuning in from? Um, what's up? Hi, Justin. How are you doing? Also, let me know where y'all tuning in from. So, when it comes to, hi, Jamie, is it Jamie or Jaime? I've learned. I've actually had a student spell their name like Jamie, but it's pronounced Jaime. So, I just want to make sure I'm saying the right name. Hi, Jamie or Jaime. Okay. Um, how are you doing, Lydia? Um, so you said your name in bold letters. I still wouldn't know the pronunciation. Um, okay. So yeah, so I graduated UT Austin in 2021. I was in a career field that wasn't really giving me life, if that makes sense. On top of that, I wanted to have a career switch and go into teaching. So I did decide teaching. And so because I already had my degree, I had to go through the alternative certification route. So one way to become a teacher is to go to school for it, literally graduate high school, get into a nice college, choose teaching as your major or education, really. Education or teaching as your major and get your degree in education or teaching. And then you do have to do observation hours, take your teaching classes, and you also have to pass your certification exams. That's kind of standard if you go that way. What's up, Lydia? How are you? Where are you tuning in from? But going back to the alternative route to become a teacher, you do have to have a degree. I'm not saying you have to have an education degree. You don't have to have a degree in teaching. You don't have to have a degree in like something related to education to become a teacher through the alternative certification route. You can get a degree in science or English and do the necessary steps to still become a teacher. Hi, Elisa. Hi, Sue Kaylin. I'm gonna just call you Jamie Jaime, because that's the best way. That's the most respectful I can say it. So Jamie Jaime, you said you have a question. What's your question? Thank you, Lydia, for subbing. Appreciate you. Let me know what your question is, and I'll see if I can answer it for you while I'm explaining like the alternative certification route. So, when I chose to officially go into teaching, this was my path. Okay, I had to first obviously have a degree. I already had a degree at the time. Well, at the time, I have a degree still. I had to choose an alternative certification program that was most comfortable for me, and with that, since there's a lot and a bunch of alternative certification programs, sheesh, that is hard to say. There are many alternative certification programs for aspiring teachers that you can join. So just do your research on the right um, program for you, so that way. Just good, Dad. Yeah. Do you like being a teacher? Yes, I do. I love it. I promise you, I love it. And this is now like kind of around 2 years of teaching experience that I have now. And so far, it's keeping me on my toes. So it's really cool to be a teacher, at least in my opinion. Um, so yeah, um, you can have any you can have any degree in anything and still become a teacher, right? Choose your alternative certification program. Boom. The one I chose for me was called Teachworthy. This is no advertisement for the program. I'm just letting you know what I did and what helped for me. So I chose Teachworthy, and with Teachworthy, you did have to pay like some type of initial startup fee. So just to like confirm that you're in the program and that you want to be a part of it, stuff like that. Okay, so I got into the program. You do have to go through a background check, and they do have to confirm you have a degree. Again, your degree can be in anything. But they do have to confirm those things, confirm your identity, background check, your degree, your educational experience, all that stuff. Boom. Got that run down. You pay a initial fee. I'm not sure how much that is. It can be different per program. So that's based on whatever program you decide to choose. For me, at the start of, was it was April or May 2024 is when I officially was like, okay, I'm doing this program. This is what I'm doing. And I think I paid around $300 to $400 to get into the program. Now, they did mention you will have to pay a monthly fee. And then this is the program I was in. You have to pay a monthly fee for your certification because you do have to pay for it. And so with that, it's based off, I think, 10 months, but the payment doesn't start until you finish certain exams. Do you need help? Do you need help? You got it? Oh, okay. Um, so where was I on? Oh, my stomach hurts, y'all. Okay, so got into the program, paid the fee. So essentially after that, once you kind of got the financials worked out with and you got your um program figured out, all that stuff, boom, you're in the program. So you are in the program. The first things that, or how about this? These are all the things that you have to do to accomplish achieving your certification. You have to have observation hours, classroom observation hours. And I actually think that the classroom observation hours increased, like at least for this state, the state of Texas, they increased the requirement for the amount of observation hours. During my time in the program, I believe it was around 20 to 30, maybe. One of those two are in between that time of how many classroom observation hours I needed to have. Meaning, I had to observe a certified teacher in a classroom that was teaching an actual TEKS, was what they call it here, that was actually teaching, and they had to sign it. I had to write like what I observed, stuff like that. And so I did all that. I want to say it was close to like 25. Um, what school do you teach? I'm not going to say what school I teach, but I will say what subject I teach, and like what grade level. So I teach middle school math. Ooh, excuse me. I teach middle school math. I'm a math girly. I'm a numbers girly. I love math. I love numbers. So yeah, that's what I teach. But to continue on with what the requirements are, so you have to have your classroom observation hours by a certified teacher. They have to be, that teacher you're observing has to be certified through whatever state you're going from, or you're observing from, or trying to get your certification in. They have to be certified, and their certification must obviously be up to date. Um, Trust me, you don't want to, you probably won't run into a problem, or you wouldn't be observing a certified teacher, but just to be clear, those are the rules. You can't observe somebody who is just now into teaching and they don't have their license yet, but they've been teaching, or a substitute teacher who's actually a retired teacher. You can't observe those people. It's specific on who you have to observe. All right, boom. So you got that out the way. Next thing you need to do, at least in my program, was this kind of like a discipline type program called Capturing Kids' Hearts. And it kind of goes about like, you got it? Okay. Oh, is that the Domino's table? All right. So where was I at? Kind of lost my train of thought, but kind of going back into like the next steps of what's required. So, oh yeah, Capturing Kids' Hearts. It was basically like a seminar, or like a meeting. I would say more of a seminar, kind of just going over like how to deal with like student behavior, classroom behavior, how to approach it, what are some techniques you can use to handle different behaviors in different students or different backgrounds. It's just one of those ethical type seminars that I enjoyed. I really did enjoy it. It was for the program I was in. That seminar was about 2 days, I believe. It was 2 days, and yeah, I think it was a full day. Yeah, full 8 hours. It was 2 days for full 8 hours. And they kind of went over like all these different resources you can use when it comes to like classroom management, classroom behavior, all of that. I just thought that that was amazing. So, which one cool thing about my program, my alternative certification program, is that they're giving me a whole year subscription to the Capturing Kids' Hearts. So if I ever have any issues with classroom behavior, classroom management, um, killing all that, I wouldn't say dead air or dead time. I don't like to say that. I would say any gaps in learning or gaps during the day, just to fill those in with other things that you could either teach the kids, or um, dealing with social emotional learning lessons and stuff like that. So that's one thing you do also need to have done. Another thing that you have to have done is um, your exams. So with your examinations, depending on what you want to teach, that will determine which route you would go in regards of testing. There's certain different amount of tests you would have to take becoming a certified teacher on the alternative certification program. So depending on what you want to do, will let you know how many examinations you have to do. Now, from what I remember, because I can only go based off what I did in the program. So I was getting my certification in 4th through 8th grade mathematics. So let me tell you the tea with this, okay? And again, this is why it goes based on like what your background is and like what you want to teach. This is where it differs with examinations. So my degree is basically in science. I got a degree in nutrition. with a pre-health professions certificate. So I have that degree, which is a science degree, but I want to teach math. So yes, science and math go in hand with each other, but based on my uh, what is it called? My credits. Based on my credits at school, I didn't take enough math classes to automatically qualify to teach 4th through 8th grade mathematics. Based on my degree, I was qualified to teach 4th through 8th grade science, 7th through 12th grade science, or 4th through 8th grade mathematics slash science. Okay. Me, even though I got a degree in science, it's literally not my favorite subject. I'm just naturally good at it. So when it comes to me wanting to teach math, I specifically had to take, the best way I can call it is like this pre-test or this pre-examination to qualify me in order to take the actual content exam. I hope this is making sense. So to take the content exam just means this is the subject you want to teach. So my content was math, 4th through 8th grade math. So I wasn't automatically qualified to take the examination in order to be certified in that subject. I had to take a pre-exam. So it was called, what was it called? It was still 4th through 8th grade mathematics and PACT. PACT. It was called the PACT exam. So I had to take the 4th through 8th grade math PACT exam to qualify me to take the actual mathematics exam. So when I took the PACT exam and I passed it on the first try, I was eligible to take the actual content exam in math, right? So technically, in that sense, I had to take 2 content examinations, but that's not the case for everybody. You might only need to take 1. Maybe you did get a math degree and you want to teach math and you already have enough credits within your transcripts in order to take the actual content exam itself. But if you, let's say if you got your degree in science, but you want to teach English, you will have to take the pre-exam first or the PACT exam first, ace that, or not just ace it, I mean pass it, just pass the exam, and then that will make you eligible to take the next exam. Okay, so that is the first set of examinations you would have to take in order to become a teacher in that subject. The second exam that you have to take is called the PPR. I think it's it's either pedagogy professional responsibilities or pedagogy professional responsibilities, one of the things. So that test is basically taken by pretty much every teacher. Every teacher has to take that. And I believe I'm trying to remember, I believe if you want to teach special education, I'm pretty sure you take that exam as well. But then there's a different type of content exam you would have to take, I believe. But if you don't want to teach special education, you just want to be a gen ed core teacher, the PPR exam is what you're going to have to take. A lot of people I've heard some horror stories when it comes to like how many times people had to take like the content exam or how many times people had to take the PPR exam. And I'm gonna be honest, it didn't take me that many tests to pass. It took me like 1. So there's that. So then you have in order to finish up your alternative certification, you have you paid your fee, your initial fee to get in. You have your classroom observation hours. There is one more thing I forgot to say before I go into that. One more thing. Another requirement that you need, and obviously it's based on the program. With my program, you have to take these courses. There was about 9 courses. They're all talking about like professional and pedagogy responsibilities. So basically, these courses were to help you do well on the PPR exam. So if you do well on the PPR exam, or no, if you finish those courses, it should help you on the PPR exam. So make sure you do those courses and do well at them and like pay attention, do all of it. So that way you have a higher chance of passing on the first try for the PPR exam. Now, with the PPR exam, you have the option, as well as the content exam, you have the option to take an alternative study course that is not associated with your program. You have the option to do that. Now, with that, it's obviously up to your discretion because that is money that you would have to pay out of your pocket that you might not want to, especially as a teacher, um, beginning this whole journey. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it with that. I think I said everything, so let's kind of go wrap it up. So, in order to become so in order to become a certified teacher in the alternative certification program, you have to first have a college degree. Second, you must find an accreditable alternative certification program. Then next, you should have your classroom observation hours. You should complete your courses. I think it's through Canvas or something like that. Complete your courses, your online training. That's, call it online training. Then you have to complete, there's 2 tests that you have to take if you want to be a gen ed core teacher. It's a little different if you want to do special education or fine arts, stuff like that. If you want to be a gen ed core teacher, then you need to take your content exam and your PPR exam. Okay. And then, mind you, the very last thing that you need to do is your 1-year internship. With your 1-year internship, you will be observed by your field supervisor, probably about 5 formal, 6 informal observations. The formal observations are so let's say you're a middle school or high school teacher. A formal observation would be an entire class period. If you're an elementary teacher, I'm sure it's just like whatever subject you chose to teach that day. So if you want to do it when you're doing science, it's just has to be a 45-minute allotment for the formal observation. Informal observation are just a quick 15-minute observation that the field supervisor will format on you. So that way you can basically get the cert. So that is it with that. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else I had to do other than those things. I hope I didn't miss anything. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to like comment on this video. I will get back to you. I will create another like actual formal video on how to get your alternative certification. And I did complete that like a week ago. I've been teaching for 2 years though, but I completed my certification within a year and a month, like about a year and 3 months max. So thank you for tuning in. Let me know if you have any other questions. Catch me on the flip side.